Well, hello, hello. Coach Nikki Warren here. I am excited to dive into the topic of intermittent fasting, which is wildly popular right now and with good reason. There's been tons of studies and lots of independent reporting on really good effects of what intermittent fasting can do for you. But what I want to talk to you, and what I have also seen with lots and lots of my clients, but what I want to talk to you today about, and what I think is so important, is the difference between women and men, and why we don't want to fast like a man and why we want to fast like a woman. Because women have a orchestra of hormones that run our body, and we have to be very careful with the balance of our hormones and how our hormones affect everything in our life. So there's certain people that intermittent fasting would be great for, but on the flip side of that, it is really important that this is an individual question where you work with your coach, your healthcare provider, work with your nutritionist on, is this a good option for you? And that's what I'm going to talk about, just kind of high level. So disclaimer, please make sure to talk to your physician, talk to your healthcare provider, talk to your registered dietitian about if this is right for you. So these are just the studies that I've researched and some of the things that have happened, the results in myself and in my clients. So first, what is intermittent fasting? So intermittent fasting is just a pattern of eating where you cycle between periods of eating and you cycle between periods of fasting, so not eating. There's a few different kinds of, or types of intermittent fasting. So there's like 14 to 16 hour of fasting. So then you have like the eating window of the 8 hours to 6 hours, just kind of depending on your 14 to 16 hours, where you fall in between that. Some people do a 5-2 method where they eat normal for 5 days a week and then they fast for 2 sets of 24 hours separated. There is, all kinds. There's like 12-hour fasting, but the most popular is taking a break at night. And I think for women, that is also the safest way to fast. And so our female bodies, like I said, are really sensitive to calorie restriction. And if we restrict our calories too much for a long period of time, there can be adverse effects on our hormones. So if you are like trying to get pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, if you are pregnant, if you have a history of eating disorders, if you're already too thin or thin, this is not something that you would want to try. Now, if so say like, okay, I'm thinking about having a baby. My doctors told me I should lose a little weight. I was thinking about intermittent fasting. So the research that I have done is what happens in women is when we calorie restrict for too long, or when we calorie restrict and we skip meals, our hypothalamus is affected. So it's like a little like tower in our head that helps run our hormones. When our hormones that are secreted are disrupted, and mostly like our sex hormones, so that could give you interrupted periods, it could stop your periods, it could affect your ghrelin and your leptin. So you want to be really careful as a woman as you decide decide not to do this fasting. So what I would suggest is that you do so kind of just right now, or you can pause me, whatever, take a second and just write down when you typically stop eating and when you typically start eating, without kind of like overthinking it. So then, and maybe you can journal this week, journal just like your normal, this is like when I stop eating, this is when I start eating. Are you a late night snacker? What are you eating at night? Those kind of things. And then what I suggest is that you stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed. So start your fast 3 hours before you go to bed. So say if you typically stop eating at 8, and then 8 to 8 would be that full 12 hours. So then if you said, okay, I'm going to stop eating at 7, so you're just giving yourself the 13 hours. So it's not starving, it's not doing anything major, or even 15 minutes back. So if you want to do like the 14 to 16-hour fasting, it's fine if you do like 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, of like the longer durations of fasts. And then maybe 12 to 13 hours on the other days. But where you're going to get the most results, if you're looking for weight loss, if you're looking for decreased inflammation, improved sense of well-being, like where if you're feeling depressed or low of energy, if you're looking for increased longevity, better muscle tone, heart health, all those kind of things. It's the studies show the earlier you stop eating at night, the more effective it is. So our pancreas slows down at night, so our digestion slows down. So it's harder for us to digest bigger amounts of food. Where in the morning when we wake up, everything starts moving in that more active direction. So it's better to stop eating earlier and then have a good breakfast once you feel hungry, and then just play around with a different kind of fasting that suits you. But if you find yourself that you're missing periods, that you're cranky, that you're not feeling good, then there's plenty of ways to get to your ideal body weight. So we can help you do that. You can join us for a 6-week brick. You can join us virtual. You can like be right in your own living room. You get lots of education in studio or live stream workouts, and I hope to see you there. If you need more information, let us know. Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. Mwah. Happy fasting.